Galapagos, Serengeti, and Cheetahs, the winning streak. Explore the amazing diversity of life on the Galapagos Islands. Then travel across the Serengeti on one of the most massive land migrations in the world. Finally, find out how cheetahs maintain their winning streak. They are fast, sleek, and powerful, but their survival in the wild depends on more than speed. Segment 1. Galapagos.
The Galapagos Islands spread across the equator in the Pacific Ocean, about 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador, in South America. The archipelago, or group of islands, include 19 islands and 107 islets. They are home to a collection of some of the most unusual and fascinating plants and animals on Earth. Millions of years ago, active volcanoes erupted on an ocean floor. The hot liquid lava hardened, creating a small chain of islands that continue to grow to this day. In the past 200 years, over 60 eruptions have expanded the Galapagos Islands. At first, the land had no life. Over time, seeds were blown in. Wind and water carried in birds and animals clinging to floating vegetation. Life took root. And so began the story of the Galapagos Islands. In 1835, a young English naturalist, Charles Darwin, visited Galapagos. As he stepped ashore, he found a world of fascinating creatures. The vast collection of unusual plants and animals inspired Darwin's theory of evolution. He believed that over time, as life on Galapagos adapted to its environment in new ways, new species evolved. The marine iguana, once just a creature of the land, learned to find food in the ocean. Diving for seaweed, it can stay underwater for up to half an hour. Darwin believed the Galapagos tortoise had adapted very well. It can survive without food and water for nearly a year. Without natural predators, it can live for 200 years. There are 13 species of finch. Each has its own specialized beak and feeding habits. One species eats cactus blooms. Another is a tool user, breaking off cactus spines to dig insects from trees. In 1859, Charles Darwin published his theories of evolution in a book titled On the Origin of Species. His book turned Galapagos into a study area for scientists and naturalists. They came to the islands to see the world Darwin described. Today, scientists continue to study the Galapagos Islands. Every new expedition into the island's deep waters discovers new forms of life. Unknown fish, delicate organisms, and peculiar life forms. And these species inspire new ideas and theories about how they developed. Galapagos, one expects to find the unusual. A quarter of all fish, over half the birds, and almost all the reptiles cannot be found anywhere else on Earth. The Galapagos Islands are the living story of evolution.
Imagine that you are a scientist like Charles Darwin and that you have discovered a unique animal on the Galapagos Islands. Write at least one paragraph about your discovery. Make sure you describe what your animal looks like and its behavior. Segment 2, Serengeti.
The Serengeti Plains spreads across East Africa in northern Tanzania and into southwestern Kenya, where it is known as the Masai Mara. It has remained largely free of human settlement and is the centerpiece of Africa's vast array of magnificent wildlife. Dawn on the Serengeti Plains of Tanzania. Every year on the plains, there is a dry season. With no rain, grass turns brown. Water runs low. It is a signal to Serengeti's wildlife to migrate, to move on in search of food and water. The wildebeest, the zebra, the cheetahs, the lions, all understand it is time to leave this land. Obeying an ancient urge, over 1 million hungry wildebeest gather together. Hundreds of thousands of famished zebra and gazelles join the surging mass. An animal army, many kilometers long, snakes across the Serengeti in one of the most massive migrations found on Earth. This is the Great Migration. Its destination? The green grasslands of the Masai Mara in Kenya, 804 kilometers away. For the starving beasts, the migration is their only hope for survival. But first, they must survive the journey itself. Deadly, silent. Predators lurk. They watch and wait, stalk, and strike. For the predators, the passing migration is the last feast of the season. The weak, the old, and the young are the easiest to catch. Hunted, hounded. For days, the army marches on to the green grasslands of the Masai Mara, where there is water. And yet for the grazers, this is not home. The Serengeti is where they have always bred and given birth. A primal urge to return will soon drive them back. When the rains come, the migration begins its return track to the Serengeti. The returning migration now faces a swollen Mara River. It its deadly inhabitants and its fatal currents. The survivors struggle on. 250,000 have died on their way home. Back on the plains, a new circle of life begins. The journey is over until the next dry season. In the Serengeti, the Great Migration never ends.
Make a list of all the animals seen in this video. Have each student select an animal and draw a picture of it. Use crayons or paints if available to make the pictures colorful. Create a Serengeti landscape on the classroom wall by hanging students' pictures. Segment 3. Cheetahs, the winning streak. Since the time of the Egyptian pharaohs, cheetahs have been honored for their elegance and hunting ability. They are the fastest mammals on Earth, running at speeds of up to 113 kilometers per hour. With long legs and a springy backbone that adds extra thrust, cheetahs can cover 7 meters with each stride. During a chase, they are airborne half the time. All 4 feet are off the ground. They once ranged as far as Southwest Asia, but today their hunting grounds are restricted to East and Southern Africa, and their number continues to dwindle. But when it comes to living a long life, certain cheetahs seem to have a distinct advantage over others. This winning streak is the key to their survival. The Serengeti Plain covers approximately 130,000 square kilometers between northern Tanzania and southwestern Kenya. Within its borders, across 13,000 square kilometers of territory, lies the Serengeti National Park. One of the greatest gatherings of wildlife on Earth can be found in this park. Of the 12,000 cheetahs left in the world, the Serengeti is home to about 300 of them. Towards the end of the dry season, Thompson gazelles move across the barren landscape towards grassy plains. Cheetahs rely on this small antelope for food. Female cheetahs raise their offspring alone. These cubs were born 8 weeks ago, each with their eyes still closed and weighing less than half a kilogram. Their lives will always depend on their mother's skills, and her skills depend on her own experiences as a mother. The more litters she bears, the more opportunities she has to learn how to feed, protect, and teach them how to hunt. With 3 new mouths to feed, a mother is always looking for prey. Out in the open, she must be very watchful. Until her youngsters can run faster, they are extremely vulnerable. At this age, healthy cubs require fresh meat as well as their mother's milk. Vultures are one of a young cub's greatest threats, not because they attack the young cheetahs, but because they alert lions and hyenas to an easy meal. When the predator is a stronger animal, such as a lion, a cheetah will give up its kill to avoid a deadly fight. The mother leads her cubs to a safe hiding place. The feeding frenzy catches the attention of the king of beasts. The mother was wise to hide her young. For now, it seems the cubs are safe. But there are echoes of danger. Lions kill more young cheetahs than any other predator in the Serengeti, perhaps because they want to eliminate competition for food. Environmentalists think lions may be one reason that cheetahs are becoming extinct. Only 1 out of 10 cubs survives beyond 3 months. In the early morning hours, the mother lost 2 of her 3 cubs while she was away hunting. Only one, a tiny male, survived. Unprotected, cheetah cubs are extremely vulnerable to predators such as lions and hyenas while their mothers are away hunting. Some mothers are more successful than others at hiding the den based on their experience, but there is always a risk involved. Cubs often wander away from the den or a predator discovers them. This mother has never succeeded at raising a family. Hungry families of cheetahs follow herds of gazelles as they graze. This mother has year-old cubs, a male and a female. Year after year, she has successfully raised cubs to adulthood. These cubs have a better chance of reaching adulthood and surviving on their own due to their mother's experience. On these dusty plains, trouble is never far away. An experienced mother will keep her cubs at least 1 kilometer away from lions and hyenas. But the inexperienced mother of the lone cub has allowed the lioness to get too close. Now, she must chase the lion away. Luckily, her mistake does not end in tragedy. Suddenly, the air is charged with the sweet smell of rain. This mother watches as her adolescents practice their running and hunting skills. These skills account for some cheetahs' winning streak. Unlike other big cats, cheetahs prefer to hunt at dusk or dawn. Rains have caused a mass migration of wildlife. Wildebeest, 1.5 million of them, make their seasonal pilgrimage to the mineral-rich plains of the central Serengeti. A top-ranking male cheetah watches over the parade. His territory covers about 40 square kilometers of fertile grassland. Cheetah males often form alliances called coalitions with brothers or strangers to win territories. But this male is among the successful few who have decided not to share his territory. He is strong enough to govern a land by himself. A grown cheetah weighs between 36 to 64 kilograms. This cheetah weighs almost 41 kilograms. At 4 years of age, he is nearing the prime of his life. With any luck, he may live as long as 12 years. He is a crafty hunter and powerful too. He fought a pair of male cheetahs by himself and took over this territory. Normally, a coalition of 2 or more cheetahs attacks an individual male and takes over its territory. With a meal like this, he may not have to eat again for another 5 days. Cheetahs can devour up to 4 kilograms of meat at a single sitting. They must eat quickly because there is always the risk of theft. Weeks pass. Conditions have become harsh for the mother and her year-old cubs. It's time to follow the migration of the gazelles and move on. Female cheetahs and their cubs are the only migratory cats in the world. Their home range is determined by the location of the gazelles. It extends over 800 square kilometers. It is a very large hunting ground. From all corners of the refuge, the cheetah families come together on the central short grass plains. For most, it's a trek of about 50 kilometers. At this time of year, this gathering of animals in the Serengeti creates a tapestry of wildlife. When it comes to speed, cheetahs have no equals. They can go from standing position to running 80 kilometers per hour in about 2 seconds. At their fastest, no other animal can outrun them. Cheetahs' tails help them to keep their balance on sharp turns. But their chases are short. It takes from 20 seconds to a minute for them to get tired and stop. Only half their attempts to catch adult prey are successful. Starting at 6 months of age, a cub joins the hunting game. But it won't be able to hunt well until it is about a year old. Like all cheetahs, this cub has a good sense of smell, good hearing, and sharp eyesight. His mother will teach him what to hunt, how to kill prey, and how to keep it out of sight. These siblings will stay with their mother until they are 15 to 18 months old and have learned enough skills to survive on their own. Before they know it, their mother has vanished over the horizon. But this time, she will not return. The siblings have reached the age of independence. Now, they will have to survive on their own. Cheetah cubs often separate from their mothers in the wet season, when easy-to-catch gazelle fawns are plentiful. Even so, without their mother's help, hunting is not as easy as it used to be. The gazelles escape. These cubs still have a lot to learn. Several months after leaving their mother, it's time for the cheetah siblings to say goodbye to each other. At 2 years old, they now face different challenges. Young female cheetahs often stay in the same range as their mothers, while males wander great distances. This instinctive behavior may be nature's way of avoiding inbreeding. After more than a year and a half together, the male cub leaves his sister. Most cheetahs, by instinct, single out nervous or inexperienced prey. But to rise in the cheetah social order, this one will have to become a master hunter. This is no contest. At 225 kilograms, zebras are much larger than cheetahs and have more endurance. Over time, the young male's strength and prowess will prove whether he has the winning streak. His sister's success will be measured by different standards, among them, how well she breeds. She has been discovered by the territorial male. He wants to mate with her. Female cheetahs first mate at the age of 2. Rolling is a sign that the female sibling may be in heat. The female will be receptive for up to 3 days. During this period, the territorial male will not let her out of his sight. This guarantees that he will be the only father of her offspring this time. She may have as many as 6 cubs, although a litter of 3 to 5 cubs is more normal. Her brother also looks for company. He needs to team up with another young male. There is greater safety in numbers, even if that number is only 2. But finding a partner is risky. If he approaches a territorial male unknowingly, he may end up in a fight and die. After a brief tussle, he gets acquainted with a male of similar age and status. Together, the two can greatly increase their chances of survival. As with any new friendship, earning trust takes time. For now, no one dares contest the authority of the number 1 male. His command may last for 2 years or more. In that time, he may father many cubs, cubs who will inherit his champion ways. Already, he has 2 new offspring, born to the young female cheetah. Today is their first trip out of the den. Although she is a first-time mother, there is a good chance she'll be an excellent teacher because her own mother taught her well. By passing on the same survival skills to her cubs, they will learn to hunt well. Learning to sense danger will only come from experience. And with the right choice in mates, even her children's children may inherit some of their unique strengths. For in the end, the survival of these magnificent cats depends on individual champions, male and female, who can achieve and hold on to the winning streak. The cheetah can run from a standing position to 80 kilometers per hour in 2 seconds. See how many seconds it takes you to reach your fastest running speed.